It's Sam with the new moon forecast of January 30th, 2014. Now the new moon is going to happen in Capricorn on January 30th, 2014. It's in the nakshatra of Shravana, which literally means hearing. Shravana is also ruled by Lord Vishnu, who is the pervader of space and the cosmos, the one who balances and keeps everything in harmony and equilibrium, the maintainer of the universe. Few important things about this new moon as well. It happens to be hemmed between Mercury and Venus. So for instance, we have the sun and moon in Capricorn, and Mercury and Venus are in adjacent signs. Mercury is in Aquarius, which is after Capricorn, and Venus is in Sagittarius before. So this is called hemming. It's a very important principle which really sort of portends an auspicious month ahead because of this easy and auspicious influence that's surrounding the new moon in Capricorn. And the other thing that's important is the Venus-Jupiter aspect is very close. Venus in Sagittarius is very closely aspected or opposed by Jupiter in Gemini. So they're both retrograde and they're both aspecting each other at a very close degree. Jupiter's about 18 degrees of Gemini and Venus is like 19 degrees of Sagittarius. So there's a lot going on here. Also some aspects from Saturn and Mars onto Venus, which is just adding to the intensity. But we're going to talk more about the new moon here. Now this is a new moon in Capricorn, so it starts the Capricorn cycle, which has to do with determined effort, especially internal, psychological, emotional effort and control, and also facing the unpleasant realities of life psychologically and emotionally, because all of the signs are an extension of their planetary ruler. Capricorn is the feminine, reflective, feeling quality of the planet Saturn. Saturn is the deity, is the power, and Saturn is the power of long-term thinking, determined effort, the awareness of time, the pressure of time to change things, to change us hopefully, to make us mature, to make us practical and realistic about life. And as we age, Saturn becomes important because we have more of a history of mistakes that should be teaching us. This is the nature of Saturn, and Saturn expresses himself externally through the world in Aquarius, and internally and psychologically and emotionally through the sign of Capricorn. So the signs are much more related to our feeling and the feeling of the planet. The planet is power, has that energy to teach that lesson. How it feels is related to the signs. And so how Saturn feels to us emotionally is Capricorn energy. So we have this feeling that, oh no, I'm going to die. Everybody's going to die. What's the meaning of my life? And it scares us. We feel that psychological pressure of Saturn. So we say, okay, well, I need to make sure I have enough money. I need to build up this structure. This is why Capricorn has all the attributes that we associate with it. Because Capricorn is that feeling, which is emotional and psychological, of Saturn, which is the awareness of loss, the pressure of time, the fact that we only have so much time that, everything is going to change, we're all going to die, at least our form, and this makes us get serious and grow up and be mature, hopefully. Or, if we don't grow up and if we're not mature, then instead of actually learning through our mistakes, we wind up blaming others for our mistakes. Hey, there's an easy way out. I don't do anything wrong, it's that I was abused as a child. That's why my life is screwed up and I've never learned anything. Again, that's a very immature approach to life. As we know, a mature approach is to say, well, I've also made mistakes and the past is gone and I am only hurting myself by hanging on to bitterness. My guru Amma says that anger and bitterness is like a knife where both ends have a blade, where the handle is also a knife. So it's like you stick a knife in someone and it's like you cut yourself as well. We only hurt ourselves when we hang on to past regrets and when we punish people because we don't forgive them. These are big Saturn themes. So Saturn and Capricorn especially is where we are compelled to forgive. The big sort of currency of Saturn. It's just the awareness of time. We know this through time. That we've been wronged and people have done stuff to us, but we've done wrong things too. We want to be forgiven for our mistakes, and those who have harmed us also want to be forgiven. So these are big themes right now with the new moon in Capricorn. Now it's in Shravana Nakshatra. Shravana literally means hearing, and that doesn't mean just listening, or that doesn't just mean like hearing what someone says. It means listening for the truth behind what is said, the truth behind what comes our way, comprehending what is coming into us, because we're not just being challenged to listen to words and sounds, but we're being challenged to listen to the message that's coming in from all the senses. We're being challenged to listen to our body when we eat too much and then we just collapse into a pile on the floor and go to bed and wake up with gas and bloated and constipation. We're being challenged to listen to that. We're being challenged to listen when our apartment, I'm just looking around, and when our apartment is a mess, it's saying, clean me up, right? We're being challenged to listen. And when we listen, we adjust and we get the picture, we get the truth. So Shravana is literally the function of listening and hearing. So it's also connected to music. It's connected to, again, hearing what people mean by what they say, not just the words they use. And again, this allows us to forgive others as well. You know, a quick example, my guru Amma, there's a great story that I tell about the function of Shravana and of listening. Amma went and visited a devotee's house, and you know, the devotees had a couple children, and of course the devotees, they fixed the house up really nice because Amma was coming to visit. And Amma, you know, she like walks in the house and like goes right into the kids' room. Amma always says, if you want to really know what people are like, see their kids, or you know, see how their kids are acting. So she goes in, and one of the girls was very young. She was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old. And the other daughter, it was two daughters. The other daughter was maybe 10 or 11 or 12 years old. And the other daughter had all of her Amma bhajans and Amma books, and she was very devoted to Amma. Of course, that made Amma happy. But the younger girl, she was kind of too young to really get it. But she was old enough to understand that she didn't, let's say, love Amma or be as devoted to Amma as her older sister. You know, and younger siblings compare themselves to their older sibling. And the little girl looked kind of sad. And of course, you know, Amma it doesn't take Amma much to recognize something like that. She can tell if you're sad or not. And she asked the girl, you know, what's the matter? You don't seem so happy. And the little girl said, Amma, how come I don't love you as much as my sister? She said, Amma, how come I don't love you as much as my sister? And you know, Amma's answer was so, was so moving. She said, but you and I are friends, right? You would think, who would think to, you know, give that answer? But you and I are friends, right? And the little girl went, yeah, we're friends. And she jumped in Amma's arms and, you know, hugged her. Excuse me. That's Shravana, because Amma knew what the little girl was really saying is, Amma, how come you know, do you love me as much as you love my sister? Like, do you understand me as much as you love my sister? Or, you know, because she figured because she didn't have the same kind of love and devotion that her sister had, at least to her, that Amma didn't love her as much. And she wanted to know. So Amma connected with her based on who she was and based on where she was. And that's the miracle of a Sadguru. They know your heart. She knew that little girl's heart. She knew, she could have answered her, oh, but you're just not old enough or something. But Amma gets right to it. She just said, but you and I are friends, right? The little girl was like, yeah. I mean, it's so sweet. But that's Shravana. I mean, that's the Shravana of a Sadguru. And that's the great blessing I've had in my life, is to be able to sit in front of a being like that for like 15 years. You know, you learn something, even as stupid as I can be, as hard-headed as I am. You hear things like that, and you're like, when you then study a system like astrology, you see, that's what that thing really is. So that faculty to really hear the truth behind what someone is speaking and what someone is saying, not just the words, is a great skill. That's the great skill of Shravana, to always be listening for what's really happening in our life and in the lives of others, And again, since this new moon has the hemming of Mercury and Venus, Mercury and Venus are hemming the sun and the moon. Hemming is a very important principle which shows a cooperative environment. Venus is rising before the sun-moon conjunction in Capricorn, which creates an environment of cooperation that precedes that energy. And Mercury rises after, which then facilitates implementation much more easily to whatever happens. Mercury is very cooperative and very skilled. So we can find a lot of skill and a lot of cooperation and a lot of help from people in our lives this next 30 days as we integrate these principles of Capricorn and really listening for the signals that are coming back in our life and making the proper adjustments. It's also the Chinese New Year, which it usually happens on the new moon in Capricorn. It's usually that new moon, and it's the new year of the horse in the Chinese system. So I do think that's a fabulous system. So this kind of spirit of assertiveness and self-confidence, and to really hit the ground running. It's the beginning of the Chinese New Year, so it's a great time to start something new. All sun-moon conjunctions are the beginning of a cycle, like I say every month when I do these new moon cycles. This is the start of the cycle. The full moon is the halfway point. So this is the start of a new cycle, the Capricorn cycle of this year. And in fact, like I say, in Chinese culture, this is considered the beginning of the year itself. So if you want to understand how this Capricorn cycle will affect you and your sign, you can get a 2-week forecast at my member site. You can get a forecast every day, based on the current astrology, and you'll also understand how this new moon, how this Capricorn cycle is going to affect your astrology sign. So if you're interested in that and you're not a member, go ahead and click the link below and try it for only 1 penny for a 2-week trial, and you'll also get forecast every day, and you'll get to see how this Capricorn cycle will affect you. So either way, have a great day, and leave me some comments that some others know about this